So we join back in with our adventurers after last week. Some more digging and delving, conversation with Thaddeus, with Dante gaining not only a new lead fancy sheath thing for his Tenebrese sword, he also gained himself a new fancy sword that he's yet to use. The players also found themselves under harass, being followed, odd events following them through the streets, and with the belief that it is agents of the Lord of Brass who is still searching for Tenebrese. The group took shelter within the temple. Overnight, some protections used from Ichi to ensure that they cannot be snuck up on. And we join them in the morning with you fully rested. Make sure to knock off any long rest or anything that might be needed.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to just start the day by immediately just igniting my right on my sword. Fire right. The fire right, not the far right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The fire.
Let's not mix those up.
The right of fire. Yeah, easy enough. Anything anyone else wants to do in the morning other than just sort of general getting breakfast, getting prepped?
Only 1 point of damage.
No, I don't think there is. I think I'd have breakfast. I think I'd probably talk to Rufus for a bit. But I'm very nervous. I'm very on edge. I possibly didn't sleep very well.
Okay. When you
Dante would probably be sleeping or staying in or around the iron circled room, like where we've got the sword.
Okay. Are you keeping it in there rather than just the bag of holding? It's fine if you are. It's just.
I think we were keeping it was kind of like in the sheath, in the bag of holding, in the room with.
I'm fine. Yeah, that's fine as well.
With everything.
Triple. Yeah. That is absolutely fine.
Trying to find it one way, you're getting it. You're not getting it the other.
So at some point in the morning, you will be able to head out for breakfast, and when you do, Brother Theo would approach and, hi, morning. I hope you are all well and doing okay.
Thank you, Theo. How are you?
I am very well. They actually do seem in fairly good spirits. They seem
fully recovered now.
Fully recovered, and almost definitely with now the temple clear and things starting to move in a positive light. We would say we made some good work yesterday clearing some of the closest houses, and we are going to continue. Although Dante, we might need you at some point tonight to recharge some of the bowls. It does seem using it depletes it faster. Only minorly, we're talking 18 hours as opposed to 24, but it seems that if we are using it rapidly, our time depletes, but it just means we need to work a bit faster, right? Anyway, Arkana has given me a letter for you. They came home very late last night and are still sleeping, but wanted to make sure you received this message.
Okay. Let's take the message and open it
up. They would sort of nod and sort of say, I must attend to my duty still, but let me know if you need anything. And they'll sort of head off. As you open up the letter, it's fairly simply written, not very formally, and it just says, Chaotic Embers. The council have agreed to send the expedition down into the catacombs. If you are still agreeable to going down, please send a message to Alar Moonshadow.
Okay.
They will be leaving first light tomorrow morning.
Okay. That's good.
Alar will be putting together a list of those who have been cured to make up the team that will escort you down. Make any preparations you need today and rest well. And then it just says Arcaner at the bottom.
Cool. So first light tomorrow.
Yeah.
Any mention of payment?
No, which obviously is why you sort of got taught to. Again, this definitely wasn't a formal contract from the city, which is definitely what you would expect to have to be paid. This is Arcaner, like at 2 a.m. writing you a quick, here's what happened.
No, that's fine. Okay. I would just look around and say, I assume that we are all going down to the catacombs.
I'd assume so. I'd hope so.
Maybe we should leave Rufus here while we do that.
Probably best.
Volley would say we looked over potions and things, but is there anything? I mean, a lot of the shops are closed, so it is difficult. But
did we find that potion of haste, or was that? I can't remember what we talked about.
I don't think
you haven't asked. That would be almost something you would ask when you message Aylar. When you talk about contract and stuff, you can say, if possible, can you find that those. And Volu can do a sending, or you can write a message and send it that way if you want to be a bit more formal. It's purely up to you how you want to approach it as.
Okay. So no, I think, I mean, we're reliant really on Dante, aren't we? Is it worth us trying to do, what the priests have got with this water? I know that I'm assuming that the people in the catacombs are going to be way more infected than the people we're dealing with up here. But is it worth us also trying to have some of this water that we can use so that we're not solely reliant on Dante?
Potentially.
I'd have thought they would have.
The issue a part of the issue is that it depends whether, and I haven't thought about this, but when I was making the ritual, the bowl that does it has to be of a level, and that's why they're sort of carrying it in a bowl and washing people with it.
Right.
It's about whether it holds that power.
So we couldn't put it in a squirty bottle and just squirt people with it or anything like that.
No, that
it was a thought. Water gun, right?
It is too easy, maybe.
Let's just hose them down.
I would say that you can. I'm tempted to say you can flask it, but it's like 12 hours as opposed to 24 hours that it lasted. It almost depletes faster.
In which case, it wouldn't be worth doing it now. It'd only be worth doing it like first thing in the morning, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, the day before, so that because even if you took a bowl down, you would have to enchant it first thing in the morning for it to last the 24 hours.
And I'm thinking maybe in a flask that could smash, so you could almost like you throw a flask of oil for it to smash, rather than having it in
one of those braziers could create you 4 flasks.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do that like just before you left, you would have 12 hours.
Yeah. And we'd have a flask each.
Yeah. And to be clear, after the 12 hours, it becomes normal holy water.
Yeah. And Dante, would you be willing to do that tomorrow?
Of course, it's what I'm going to be doing most of today anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, so I sort of set that as one of the last things you do before you go to bed, Dante. Because again, you can decant them in the morning. But if you prep the braziers so that they're going to last 24 hours, then anything else? Anybody? Sorry, go on, Dante.
I think so. You kind of answered it with the whole bowl thing. It's not something that can really be anything can happen about it now. I just wondered, if the water was like running, like through like a pump system, does that keep things? Does it keep it from going off, as it were? I just wondered, like stagnant water. over running water?
No, not different.
Okay, no worries.
Anything else anybody wants to get? If not, we can just sort of rest. You can do any sort of
I
training.
do want to ask about the potion of haste.
So yes, how do you want to message? Do you want to write it out in like a letter, or do you want to do a send them?
Unless anyone has particular preference, I was going to say ask Voli for sending or a priest for sending, just because then it's done faster.
If that's the
by
case, then you need to tell me the words.
Hi, Guy. It's Ichi. No. Who's it to? Me, Shadow.
Yeah.
Hi, Chaotic Embers have agreed. FYI, this is me just saying this out now. I'm not actually saying it as a sending.
Yeah, Volu will be writing it down.
I want to just make this very clear. So, hi, Chaotic Embers have agreed to go to Catacombs. What's the contract? What's the reward? Can you get us potion of haste? 4 words left. Anybody?
No, leave them.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
As soon as I said it, I went, I think that's 4 words, and God damn it.
Okay, so you send that off. Volu will send it off under the pause before the amazing. I can have a runner bring over contracts this afternoon. Jesus, my brain. The payment for your leading the expedition.
Oh, leading.
Well, essentially, because you're the ones that really sort of know what you're doing with the cure,
Yeah.
etc. They're just obviously the people that are going with you were down there previously, so they have a bit of information about the layout, but you know what you're doing in terms of curing and such. Would be 1,000 gold pieces each.
Cool.
I will look into the potion of haste.
Excellent.
And then Chris, want to just roll me a d100?
33.
Okay. Jesus, my brain. The rest of the day would pass fairly uneventfully. Occasionally, each year, sort of pinging out the sort of detections and keeping an eye out for anything, but nothing seems to disturb. In the afternoon, Arcanair would come and find you with the contract. They would say, I hope, I'm glad to see you are still coming on the venture. The advisors from it's Prime Minister Kale Stonespeaker.
Stone speaker.
And
it's Kale, not Kyle.
Kale.
Yeah.
The Kale. I think it just came out with it. I was trying to say Kale. Kale Stonespeaker have said that they do not want to lift the quarantine until the results of that expedition have been confirmed. If this is something that we cannot stop from continuing to leak out, we might have to look into further issues. But they give you the contracts. They are fairly standard. It is just sort of that you understand, you understand that it's dangerous. You're going to be paid, blah, 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 blah. You're representing the city. Don't commit crimes.
If we die, it's our own fault. Yeah.
Yeah. It also outlines that the actual objective of the expedition is to investigate the source of the corruption.
Oh, okay.
So the actual expedition isn't looking necessarily to go and cure it right now. They just don't even know what they're working with at the minute.
Are there any, I can ask this to Arcana, but are any priests coming down with us? Are they planning to come and cure almost behind us as we move through, or?
There will be a contingency of priests, but they will stay primarily in the catacombs. One of the researchers speaks that's one of the deeper rooms in the catacombs seemed to have a collapse or something that led somewhere else. We are wondering if they are making up some maps. They are one of the people that will be going with you. I believe they are. Second, let me find the name. They are called Horace Fenn.
Horace Fenn. Like
Yeah.
Horace, like Horace, H-O-R-I-C.
Horace, and the second name Fenn, F-E-N.
Okay.
They are a cartographer. They were down there previously, and they're going to map out what they can remember. Unfortunately, they had not mapped the deeper sections before they fell under the corruption. And to be clear, obviously, Dante, you in passing will have seen all of these people, and you won't know names, but you'll recognize when you see them because you have healed every single one of these people. But obviously, just by a name doesn't mean anything to you out of the 40, 50 people that you've healed.
Cool. We want to discuss because obviously Ichi and Dante have obviously come close to seriously infected people. So is there anything that we've discovered that move? Because obviously broken bones, kind of movements are weird.
So from the stages you guys have seen, and again, to be very clear, even the priests don't know if the stage that you've witnessed is like there could be further, but the latest stage that you've seen seems to be that they're just hyper aggressive, and they are stronger, but not from being any stronger. It's more like I've said before, they're almost throwing themselves so hard they're willing to break their own bones to breach something, or to wrap themselves around you and hold on. Doesn't matter how much you pop the shoulders out the socket.
Together, like, do they work tactically, or do they just kind of like? Is it just?
They have seemed to swarm. I would say that when you were fighting the ones you would guess an element of pack tactics. There was the essence of like one baited into you and then one would sort of snip at you. It was the early stages. It's just swarming.
We haven't seen anything like Megazord or something like that, where they kind of like form into themselves or something absurd.
No, I'm also interested in Volo asked about this. You haven't seen any more instances of quasits. Even in the early stages.
Yeah, I asked that, didn't I?
Yeah.
At the moment, the biggest guess at the moment from the academy about why that is almost like it reacting to an exterior source of power. So almost like the person was corrupted, but then was under fiendish magic, or that something because of the way it reacts to Zikara, because of the way it learns, is almost.
And I didn't pick up any fiends, did I? When we were being followed, there was only elemental and fey. Okay.
But yes, so And again, slow me down if you want to slow me down. I'm not rushing ahead for any particular reason. But if there's nothing else today, Ichi, if you've added some more time, you can definitely have done some more training. I'm going to say you can only have done 6 hours, because the other 2, I'm going to say, are the times that you sort of done big sweeps of the temple and checked for the other presences.
I will put 6 hours into stay, bringing Rufus up to 20 hours complete for stay.
Okay, so you can check off stay and
Cool.
make that as a command they can now just follow.
Oh, we do it like 20 hours is the...
Not for
Like-
everyone, but for basic ones, yeah.
The basic ones, cool.
What do we want to do for? Well, sorry, hang on. What do we want to do regarding the sword?
I think we leave it here in the magic circle. Is it not safe?
It's with our bag of holding.
So if it's in the bag of holding and in a sheath and in a circle, in theory, if they're watching us, they might think we have it with us.
Possibly.
Is there any way of them tracking it inside all of those protections?
Theoretically, no, unless they get in and remove it. No, that we've triple layered protection on that.
We have seen the fact they use mass suggestion.
So we lock the door and we have the key and there's,
Could also set up a audio alarm.
But that won't help us if we're down in the catacomb.
It won't help
We
us,
know.
but then we can allow select individuals within the temple to know if this alarm goes off. Treat it with maximum security.
I just don't think it's safe to take with us. But I don't know.
It's not safe to take. It's not safe to leave. Like,
Yeah.
How long does the spell last?
8
Alarm.
hours. Alarm.
8 hours.
Mm.
So we leave pretty much 1 day's worth.
We don't know how long we're going to be down there.
yeah.
So that's what I was asking.
But I still think it's safer like that than if we just put it in a safe or if we asked Arcana to look after it or I don't know.
Cool. Okay.
I mean,
I might be wrong.
if we're leaving Rufus, I'm anxious about leaving them as a guard dog because he's only just got the hang of stay, and
And if anyone gives him sausages, that sword will be
that's the thing.
stolen
Like, Rufus is a
instantly.
wonderful companion
Mm.
to anyone with sausages. So
It'd be like, woof at the burglar. The burglar gave me sausages. Hello.
you see, that's
I'm
the
your
thing.
friend.
We'll tell
Like-
him woof at the burglar, and
Yeah.
he'll just hear burger. That's all he'll hear.
We'll
Yeah.
pop his head up and we'll just say, no one's allowed to give him sausages.
Is this morning of right now?
Mhm.
I thought
So
evening.
It's the day.
or-
It's
it's the day before.
the day
Day
before
before,
we're going down.
evening of the day before.
Afternoon, evening. I'm not too harsh
Cool.
on time at the minute because we're sort of zooming this day.
Ichi is going to spend 10 minutes to re-summon his steed in the form of a mastiff.
Oh, good idea.
And once that kind of like forms and the vine-wrapped mastiff kind of like steps out, Ichi will kind of give him a little pat and be like, we can leave this one as a aspect of a guard dog. Won't be able to telepathically communicate with me because we'll be further away than our range, but at least we know this one will not be won over so easy.
Arcane Lock, is that a wizard spell only?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't think any of you have it.
No, I know none of us do. I wondered if a cleric of a higher level would.
I just had visions then of your mastiff also being seduced by sausages. Maybe we
Yeah,
could
we're
teach
sat there
him how
so
good
confidently,
sausages
like,
are.
this one will not be fooled. Someone turns up. He starts chatting with Rufus, and Rufus is like, mate, you got to try sausages.
Yeah.
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 But no, valid plan. So we're going to leave it in the bag, in the circle, in the lead sheath
Mhm.
with mastiff, with plant mastiff guarding. What are your exact commands? Because obviously you're not going to be able to change them once you've
Kill anyone who walks in the room.
Um,
I feel like that's a good command, really.
I
Because
mean, yes, but
go in there.
also kill anyone who comes in the room. It basically means
Yeah.
stand here until you die. Because let's face it, it probably won't do much of the killing.
No, but
Um,
it's more to do. I'm thinking more to do with the mass suggested people. Because if they go, if say, like, let's just say
Yeah, so,
Arthur
so you just
happens to
become
fall.
murderers of half the town, yeah.
well, yeah, that's which is why I'm thinking if my command is more on the lines of if someone enters, bite, because
And make a lot of noise.
causing harm normally breaks charm.
Mm-hmm.
Make noise. If you start to get hurt,
Run for help.
find someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll be series of. So I'll obviously go over with my telepathic connection just so it can fully understand, and we'll just be like, okay, so
Find someone.
in terms of this room, there are many aspects of protection. What I want you to focus on is if someone comes in, you are going to bite. Make sure you actually get hold. If you miss, I need you to go again. If they continue, well, even if they do stop, still make lots of noise. Bite their noise. If they still continue and you start to become harmed, flee and find. Do I say Arcaner? Would Arcaner be the best person? Because
Find a priest. Could be anyone then.
if it's any priest, I worry about any one of them being possibly mass suggestioned as well.
But still, we saw Arcaner was also confused when we got back. I think they just need to
Yeah,
find someone to help.
my how would it know?
The other thing would be actually if we're locking the door, the only people that would open said door presumably are people with. Well, there shouldn't be anyone who opens the door. It should only be us.
Hmm.
So then that way is say just bite anyone who walks into this room and make noise. If you get hurt significantly,
Oh yeah, yeah,
if you get hurt significantly, so like if you just get slapped off, like even for like a point of damage, you've got your guy will have health, right?
yeah. It's
You
why I said
you wouldn't know.
if you become hurt, indicating that it's like taking a slap, whatever. You
Yeah.
wouldn't, yeah.
No, yeah, no, I meant say
Yeah, you wouldn't know it's a point though, to
but
be fair.
I didn't know say how often you've used one of your summons in a fight.
Never.
Never. My
Okay,
summons are normally transport or like this recon.
Yeah.
cool, cool. Well, yeah, then so we're gonna lock the door. We'll tell Arkana that we're locking the door.
Hmm.
Summon your mastiff and in there. Anyone who comes in this door,
Bite,
fire,
noise,
except for us.
find Darkener.
Yeah. But and if well, bite noise, if you get attacked, find Arkana.
Yeah.
Because if say like someone you bite someone, they break their spell, like, oh I'm sorry, they leave. Stay where you are.
Hmm.
Repeat.
Oh no, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, in that order will be
I get
attack,
you.
alert.
Hmm.
If they continue and you become severely hurt, find Arcaner or someone of importance.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. With that all set up, I think you're all ready.
Hmm.
You can rest for another evening. And in the morning, you awake and prepare to head out to the catacombs.
Did we get any knowledge on the potion of haste, or was it no?
You haven't heard anything.
Cool.
It is like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. But yeah, you'll be able to get up. Who are you leaving Rufus with specifically? Like who is caring? Obviously the temple is fine, but like who is caring for them and feeding if you don't come back in the first
Not the
day?
chef. Needs to
My
be.
immediate thought was not the chef.
No, I mean, I'm thinking some of the priests are coming with us, aren't they? So, do we know any of the priests that are staying behind?
I mean, Arcanine will be staying behind that.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
maybe he just stays with Arcanine, right?
Maybe, yeah, like becomes an office dog.
Yeah.
Any of the priests are getting stressed, at work. Rufus comes along, they give him a little pet, and they're like, "Oh, I feel so much better now."
Yeah.
Rufus is slowly becoming the party's therapy dog.
Emotional support dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Keep say about scratch.
Hmm. Bro.
Okay. So you get all your stuff together. As you begin to head outside, you sort of, because again, I was thinking you probably have to get up before sunrise to be somewhere at sunrise. So you sort of, as you're moving through the streets, everything is dead silent. Anyone who wants to can give me perceptions. It's not too far. You're meeting them on the main courtyard, one street over.
Just going to do that thing again. I'm just igniting my right on my sword.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 26
Oh, bollocks.
for me, Lenny.
So 6 damage. We've got 1 for the day which we skipped, and then 6 on the day where we actually started. Liam, can we just say, kind of like mage armor? Can I just say every wake up, unless I say different, sword is ignited?
Well, you have to tell me anyway because you've got to roll your damage.
Yeah, I know.
So it doesn't, like, you're gonna have to damage yourself. So you've got to remember every time anyway. If it wasn't something that damaged, then I'd just say yes, of course I'll remember. But you're gonna always have to roll, or even if it was a set amount of damage, I'd say just take it off. But because it's a roll,
Yeah.
you might as well mention it anyway.
Okay.
So as you sort of begin to get to the courtyard where you're going, the sun beginning to rise and illuminating the streets of Cadfesi. The air is cool and sort of fresh, and a fresh mountain breeze, carrying hints of pine from the distant forges that are just starting up in the early morning. And standing in sort of not not very neat clusters, but standing in little clusters, you'd see around the main fountain in the center of the square some guards and some researchers that seem to be the people selected for your expedition. As you're approaching, the low murmurs of conversation begin to quiet and fall silent. Looking out, you can see that there seems to be 5 guards and 4 researchers, or more researchy looking types. The first you sort of see standing at the forefront, you would recognize now, having seen a few of the different guards in the city. They wear a captain's badge, mid-40s human. You can see some grizzled scars along the jawline, salt and pepper hair with stern eyes, but they sort of begin to approach your group first fairly calmly. You can see in the back Corporal Anya Barlow, a young human female. From their dress and armor, Eleni, you would recognize they look to be a scout.
Okay.
You can see that they are sort of pacing at the perimeter, a little bit restless. Their eyes are constantly scanning the rooftop and the alleyways. For your passive, Eleni, they're giving you almost like a little bit impatient, a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Next is a young private, Tim Wick. that seems to be almost practically like vibrating with eagerness. They're like adjusting their oversized armor repeatedly, checking the bolts, checking their equipment. It's like that. And as they've approached, they sort of have a bit of an awestruck look towards Dante.
Oh dear.
As they're getting closer, they are a halfling.
Okay.
Middle age, maybe late 20s, early 30s. Wiry, sandy hair with like really big, curious eyes. Definitely seems focused on crossbow. Like they've got multiple packs of bolts and a fairly large, complex looking crossbow. And then just that over to another side, you can see a dwarf with dark skin and long black hair. This is Joran Stoneboot.
Okay.
They're sat on a stone bench next to a very, very like steady as a statue, deep breathing in meditation, Private Cora Lannet. It seems like Joran is very heartily sort of laughing and like for Eleni, there's a bravado because they can tell the private is nervous.
Yeah.
But also there is a level of nervousness, but they're sort of swinging on their axe and laughing and joking or as you are approaching. In comparison, on the other side, you've sort of got like a set of fairly organized but getting their stuff ready, as opposed to the guards seem like they got ready and now they're here and waiting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas you can see some of the researchers, they're still sort of packing some things, organizing their sort of stuff. You can see that there is Scholar Bigsby Grell.
Bigsby
Grell, a gnome
Grell.
scholar. They seem to be animatedly demonstrating a delicate contraption to some of the other. You heard of something about arcane resonance before the things went quiet and your approach. Standing next to them, seeming bored of the conversation, is a tiefling, Mika Tull.
Okay.
Deep purple skin, intricate jewelry glistening softly in the morning light, and they're just sort of silently watching. The dwarf, Horace, is it a dwarf? Was it a dwarf? No, human, sorry, Horace Fenn. A mid-30s human, very tall and lanky, glasses perched precariously on the end of their nose, and they're currently like scribbling still on what is clearly like cartographer's kit. Almost like they've not quite finished or they're not happy. You can see them scribbling stuff out and sort of correcting. And finally, Rika Sutmane, a dwarf, curly red hair, stocky, almost permanently soot-stained clothes, wearing multiple protective talismans. Eleni, as you saw getting a bit closer, like a range of like, there are some legitimate magic items in there, but also there's like 6 that are just myth folk. Yes, that sort of stuff. And they are sort of just inspecting through pouches. They almost seem like the assistant of the group. They're doing everybody's bag check.
Okay.
While the other assistants are discussing and talking.
Do we have a squire?
What, sorry?
Could any of them act like squires?
I think the hero worshipy one could be your squire.
Maybe, but not just you'll have to do some work on that. Captain Harker steps forward and extends a hand out to whichever of you is in the front.
I think I would probably hang back, even if I'd been leading the way. I'd probably step aside for Ichi.
Yeah, I guess Ichi probably would be towards the front. They would step up, shake their hand. Hello, my name is Ichi. We're the Chaotic Embers. Here to help.
This is I won't lie. We do not really know what we are in for. You need any time to prepare?
I believe we're more or less ready to go. All we'll say is be ready for chaos. Um, make sure you're watching each other's backs. Has anyone here been infected before and are recovered, or are all of you?
We are all well. Everybody here has been cured. You would see
Lovely.
that I sort of flick over, and again, those high insights from Eleni. There's definitely some gratitude as their eyes flick over to Dante,
Mm-hmm.
but also for Eleni, there's like almost like they believe it's more than just a passing. There's almost like they want to live up to this chance that they've been given, rather than
He's seeing this as an opportunity to prove himself somehow.
not even just to prove himself. Like genuinely thought he was dead and gone, and like dead, almost life over.
Oh,
And
right.
now maybe I should do something,
Yeah.
and do something important because I've been given you're getting that vibe from him.
A revitalized meaning of life kind of vibe.
Yeah, maybe, and
Yeah.
obviously you didn't know him before, but that maybe they were a bit dejected, maybe they've become a bit lackadaisical in their life.
Mm-hmm.
They're sort of going through the motions, and they are sort of late 40s guard that's probably been in the city,
Forever.
their entire life.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of that vibe of, and they're like, we'll do everything we can to assist. As we have Anya, they sort of point over towards the one that's sort of dressed like a scout.
Yeah.
They are one of our better scouts. Obviously, we were restricted on who we could choose by, who has been infected and cured. But however, we also have which one is it? Is it Horace? Yes, Horace, who has
He's the map
been
maker.
who's been down in the catacombs previously. Their understanding ends at the tunnel, which, from what they have described to me, is in the last room on the right-hand side. Have you been in the catacombs before?
No.
We have not.
No.
No.
We
The
haven't.
catacombs, no. We've been,
We've been underground, but on the other
yeah.
side of the city, not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the catacombs themselves are a fairly simple layout. It is a wide central corridor. It has been explained to you, yes, that they were once actually catacombs, and
Yeah.
there is a central chamber that used to be for preparation and ceremony as such, and then 7 rooms leading left and right. Those rooms were then where we stored the dead in the walls, which have now become the residences and of those that lived within. We first of all do not know. We need to clear each of the rooms. We do not want to move on and let something out behind us. So our first priority will be to clear the rooms. In that, we will have a contingency of priests with us, and the researchers will hold back a little bit in that instance, while the guard units will assist you in those clears.
Just to check, Liam, we did do the flasks, didn't we? Dante did that first thing
Yes,
before we left.
yes,
So
you can have done that.
so we've each got a flask of that special holy water stuff.
Yes, for 12 hours.
Okay.
There was once we have cleared the catacombs themselves, we will then take a look at this crevasse that Horace has found. At that point, we have advised we are not sure, but we do not believe there should be any people that far down. So at that point, we will only take 1 priest with us and leave the majority waiting as a back line.
So first of all, if we've got 4 flasks, does Dante need one of those flasks, or
No.
could we give one of those to maybe this captain? Is it worth one of them or one of the researchers having one?
Yeah, that's what we're up to. They'll happily.
I would probably lean over and give one to the captain. And then I would.
As you do, they would sort of go, "Oh, yes, that reminds me," and they pull out a small box and hand it over to Dante. And as you open it up, there are 4 potions in there. One of them is labeled Potion of Haste. 2 of them are labeled Potion of Climbing. And 1 is a greater healing potion.
Cool.
I wouldn't mind one of the climbing ones, but I've already got a greater healing. So.
I would like the haste.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to take a greater healing as well, but it depends on what everybody else wants.
Might be worth me taking a greater, not necessarily for me, but for me to apply to other people.
Do you need the climbing, or is it better for Volu? I mean, I know he's.
I think it might be better for Volu, just because obviously I've got my. Like, I've got a burrowing speed, not obviously a climbing speed, so I have an
Right.
aspect that can help me go vertical,
I
but
suppose you've got the planty vine things as well.
yeah,
haven't you,
that's how I flavor my burrowing is, yeah.
So if I take one climbing and Volu takes one climbing, Dante takes the haste and Ichi
Do you want
takes
to
the greater
message in
healing.
just message in the group so Volu can add that next week?
Yeah.
I do already have one greater healing on me, so if Dante wants to
I think Volu looked
prioritize,
last week and had 3 potions. I also think Dante got 2 and now has 2 or 3.
Yeah.
The people are pretty stocked.
Yeah, I got.
We've all got a couple, I think.
Yeah, I got 2. Actually, I thought I had 3.
okay, cool. So I've got
Nobody else
now
took it.
2 potions of greater healing. Was I given any regular ones last
I
week?
think you got one normal one last
Mhm.
week as
One
well.
normal
One
one?
normal.
Okay. Potion of healing.
And I've got one greater and 2 normal.
Wonderful. I've got 1 normal
Yeah.
and 2 greater,
This is
so
it.
that kind of works for
Between
us.
us, I know Volu had a couple as well, and so I think between us we're not so bad.
So
Yeah.
Harkin would nod and say, "I will leave you to get yourself settled," and moves back over and starts saying, "Let's get ready to move. 10 minutes until we move out." So you guys have about 10 minutes to talk to people, prep anything, do anything you want.
Well, I'm gonna murmur to Dante and Ichi and sort of say I'd quite like to maybe stick with that corporal who's scouting. But how are we planning to do this? Are they going in first? Are we going in first? Like, how are we going to clear these rooms? Do we need to actually have a plan before we get in there about how we move? And I'm assuming we want the researchers way back.
Probably.
Probably in the middle, if I was honest.
I mean, Horace we might need further to the front if he's the guy with the map, but
Catacombs, so presumably there's dead bodies in there.
probably.
Yeah, be prepared for undead.
So that means they can come up from anywhere.
I mean,
we don't know how, if the infection infects other beings of semi-corporeal.
I hadn't thought about that. Undead infected. Wow. Okay.
So I would say probably keep main strength mostly in the front. Then we'd have the researchers. Then we would have a few at the back.
Couple at the back. Okay.
Then, in terms of walking in, operation door. People on either side. One person carefully checking to see if anything's trapped or anything like that.
Yeah.
We peek in, see if there's anything.
Makes sense.
Then we either go in, all guns blazing, blasting all the shit out of things. It makes sense that, unfortunately, I'll probably be the one at the front because I can absorb the most damage and least likely to be infected.
Yeah.
Not because we don't know if it is or not. And then we have archers fire past me, have somebody near me with a health potion ready to give to me if necessary. Do that per room.
Can I suggest we also have an agreed signal for retreat, just in case?
I would imagine, shit, let's get the fuck out of here would probably work.
It's just that we've got 10 people with us.
I think they all understand common.
There might be quite a long distance, Dante, between where we're stood at the front and the guys at the back. So, I mean,
They see us run.
the guards will have some kind of signal maybe, but it's just worth us understanding.
Sure, what would you like?
Well, I don't know. Can we ask the captain? Do they already have a certain signal that they use?
Please tell me it's shit, we need to get out of here.
No, it would just be retreat. It would just be retreat.
But they
At
would
the
shout,
moment,
not whistle, or yeah.
yeah,
They
we
don't.
would
They don't
shout
have a
retreat.
horn or anything.
No, at the moment we are setting our retreat station for the doors of the catacombs.
We also
Okay.
should
Cool.
make sure that I didn't. It wasn't listening entirely, but did they say we make a break into the first room and that's going to be like our base room, and then we do?
So it's a
So
long corridor with multiple doors off it.
So if you imagine when it was originally made, it was one central chamber where you would prep all the bodies and have the ceremonies and do all that sort of thing, and then smaller rooms that shoot off to the left and right where they then were like placed into tombs in the wall. The smaller rooms off to the left and right are what have been turned into the very cramped residences for the homeless people in the city. And obviously then it goes further on from that.
Let's also be very much aware that flesh tunnels and things burrowing underneath us.
Possible golem if it's still
Dawn.
patrolling.
That we're coming in a different entrance.
I know, but I just want to be prepared for anything. We don't know.
But yeah, I would say that if we're looking in this, they are more thinking environmental. There could be the vines or whatever trying.
Yeah.
I don't remember
If there's
much.
a portal, it was throwing all sorts of things out at us, wasn't it?
And I don't remember what happened personally in the big fight.
Oh, there was an angel. There was, I mean, there was all sorts of stuff being spat out of that tunnel.
Guys, I'm just reminding everyone that I do not remember exactly, but just remember that the vines and things along the floor could make movement harder.
I think we need to warn people as well that we should try and stay quiet. We should try and stay calm. That anything's possible.
You believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can that hit any number of people as long as it's in a range of you, or is it like a set up to?
I think pass without trace is 10 people.
It's up to
I
10.
think, yeah, up to 10.
And it's within a certain range as well, isn't it?
Oh, so it's for each creature, but it's within 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You could grab the entire party.
And I don't know if I want to. It only lasts for an hour, and it's a spell slot, and so I don't know if I want to use that right now when we're going to be going in and potentially making a lot of noise anyway.
It's a good shout.
Okay.
If we need it to get out, to sneak out later or something, or we need to be super, super quiet to rest or something, happy to do it then. But
also, to be fair, we need to remember that, again, we haven't been able to figure it out, but we think the creatures are connected to each other. So by the time we hit one, the entire place probably knows we're here.
Yeah, I mean.
So, but
okay.
Yeah. Should we do Operation Door?
Operation Door.
Okay, so as you sort of finish up your talk and turn back, the rest of the group seem prepared and waiting for your lead as you are leading this expedition.
Is there any spellcasters? I'm assuming some of the researchers.
So, I mean, look, you haven't spoken to any of them, so you do know.
Dante, saying this out, shouting that out. Is there any spellcasters here? Or is that people who can detect magic?
Bigsby and Mika would put up their hands.
as we approach.
Bigsby would sort of say, I can do low level magic, so Mika is the actual arcanist.
Whoever, just if there is someone just before we go in, put detect magic so we can have a look at doors and any other things, because it might require we cannot see magic.
Can I suggest that I do that before we go in?
I
Because
was
I
going to
have a
say
free
they're
cast of
already
that.
not, and they're already not going to do that because they've been ordered to stay back while you clear the catacombs. They are not for fighting at all.
Eleni can.
I meant before the main first door going in.
Yeah, Eleni can
Why would there be
do.
anything there? The city locked it.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that somebody else on the other side hasn't put a trap on it.
Okay.
So Eleni can do detect magic as part of her Furbolg magic. She can do that once per long rest without using a spell slot. So.
And I think Vola could do it.
I couldn't remember who could. I thought we couldn't see magic. I know we couldn't identify.
Yeah.
You can't identify. You can see magic.
Yeah.
But you would sort of see Mika sort of look. I'm not a fighter. To be clear, we are. Yes, for traps, incantations, glyphs, all those sorts of things. We have some things prepared, but for the most part, we are information and research.
Okay. I'm going to wander over to Corporal Anya and introduce myself and just say, looks like we might be up front.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Do we have any? Oh yeah, just is there any way, whether it's I don't know, by like rope or anything, I can fashion an additional kind of either bit on my belt or just in a new belt. So because we have a potion for bonus action. And so there's one for health. I wondered if I could have another one for the potion of speed if needed.
So normally I'd say that you can have 2 potions on your belt. Anyway, without it would be a bit late to fashion it now. That would have been something you did yesterday.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But if I can have 2 anyways, then just for the record, 1 health, 1 speed.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So you sort of head over. Give me a roll of your insight for me as
that's rubbish. That is a whole 7.
Okay, so as you approach, they seem a little guarded. Although again, it's almost like it almost seems like that putting on that confidence. There's almost like a pause as they very carefully and controlled sort of turn to you and bow. They will say, Corporal Anya Barlow, I have heard about your group's skills. It is reassuring to have someone capable up front. Let's watch each other's backs, yes. And they also extend a hand.
Yeah, I would shake it and say, absolutely. Let's get this over and done with, shall we? And then I'd sort of move back towards the front and assume that she's following me.
Well, so again, while you're moving through the city, not obviously, they're almost moving in their own groups until you get to the you know what I mean, before they sort of hit formations. There's still that sort of, and even not just between you and the groups, there's a nervousness between the 2 groups. If you imagine researchers and these guards don't necessarily always work together this close in tandem. And as you move through, through the quiet streets, there's the slow murmurs as the city begins to wake. People hanging out morning towels in there, freshening up. There's sort of a shutter bursts open as somebody lets some air in for the first in the morning. There's the distant sounds of life in the city start to fade again as you get back into the Forge Ward and deeper into the more quarantined areas. There's only the rhythmic clinking of armor and the muted whispers of researchers or occasional mutters between the party that disturb the noise. Soon the narrow road slopes downwards towards the shadowed courtyard and a small, forgotten, almost small and forgotten, surrounded by the tall buildings that surround it. And eventually you reach a large stone door carved long ago and now darkened, and almost like you can tell for those with high perceptions that there was once fairly intricate engravings all over the stone door, but they're completely weathered and worn with time and neglect. This place hasn't been the place of worship and reverence that it was for a number of years now. You can see that thick, rough wood planks reinforced with iron bars have been hammered across, and a large wooden sign with almost like, you can see it's definitely dry because obviously it's a few days ago, but it's still like that fresh, not deteriorated color of paint as the word quarantined written across it. Beside the entrance, you can see a wary-looking pair of guards who have stood watch, but upon seeing your approach, you can almost tell that they were alerted, that they were waiting for you. Captain Harker nods at them and then turns to the party. This is it. Prepare yourselves and get into formations. Once we step beyond this point, we keep our eyes sharp, our voices low. We are walking. We need to clear the first levels. Researchers, we are going to ask you to stay outside with priests upon backup. You would see that there's 2 or 3 priests already here that have not come with your group, or seem to have come separately. None of them that you recognize, but all seem... Dante, you recognize them as obviously priests you've healed, but they're not known to you. Because again, they're not fighters. Like, they're not going to go into an area they might die.
Priest and cleric?
Yes.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, not all priests. Like, they're even like, so high priest, yes, they get some cleric levels. But even the like grandest of high priests is maybe like a 6th, 7th level cleric. They're not yeah. And again, they're not explorers. They're coming into the catacombs because that's where they believe there will be injured people.
They're healers, aren't they, really?
Yeah, they're then going to wait and make the base at the top of the cavern for you to retreat back to for healing and other such things should you need it. But yes, they're not coming into what I think one of them is planning to come down into the catacombs with you.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry. So
I'm gonna just do my Rite of Thunder on the bow.
Okay, you would see some other sort of things. Some of the guards sort of prepare. You see Joran chuckles a little bit and sort of hoists the axe off the back. Corporal Barlow moves up towards the front, sort of prepping their bow.
I would have the bow out, Liam, ready so I can very quickly notch an arrow in my hand.
So Harkin will sort of make his way up to the front and pause for a moment, waiting for everybody to get ready. It does seem, and you guys can put yourselves wherever you want, but obviously it's like you've got, so Eleni and Anya, at the moment, you are not front. So you've almost got the 3 shield-bearing guards in front of you.
Okay.
As they're going to like open doors with you guys ready with bows, because in the first instance it's close quarters, right?
That's what I was going to say. Actually, if someone else can open the doors, I can have an arrow
that's
ready.
It. So basically, the two big lumbering shield bearing guards are going to like 1, 2. But so if you imagine as it stands right now, you've got Harkin and 2 guards right at the front line.
Yeah.
Then you've got Anya and Eleni. You've then got the large Joran with the big axe sort of taking up a middle position.
Yeah.
The researchers in the back line with privates. No, that's all. Yeah, that is all of them. So it's up to you guys whether one of you wants to take very back or whether you want to position yourselves throughout.
I'm going to be, I think we said so, like I'm kind of near the front.
Yeah, each will be behind Dante.
Okay, so I'll say is that each of you are sort of with the researchers in that sort of back line. Dante, if you go with Joran, just behind Eleni and...
I thought I was
Anya.
Oh, that was so.
But again, you're not. Well, you are tanky. You probably just haven't expressed that you're tanky. They don't see you as tanky because they're in the big armor. They're sort of thinking that they're gonna open doors and then have you.
Yeah. No, I sorry. In my head, it was door opened by whoever. They've got shield guys. I was going to be like kind of next one back, and then these guys are going to shoot past me.
Well, if
No,
we stand in front of
'cause then
you, we
you're
can
adding
shoot
weight.
anything that moves, and then you can go through if there's nothing there.
You can
I don't
even
know.
be in the same line
Or
as
in the
Anya
same, yeah.
and Eleni. But I'm just sort of getting a rough. And again, these aren't set orders. You can move around as you wish. I just sort of want to.
Also, I will just say, Operation Door does include investigating every door before we open it.
Yeah.
Then you need to say unroll that because the guards ain't going to.
This is why I say like.
But we
tell the
talked. Have you told the guards that?
But again, what I'm saying is I'm not having running just, oh, that is always a thing. You need to, like, we're in this is part of the sort of dungeon crawling
Can I
aspect
just
of it, right?
ask where Volu is, just so that we know whereabouts in the...
Bolu would probably go with each of the researchers,
Okay.
sort of keeping
He's
up.
got the distance anyway with his spells.
He has distance, he has his crossbow, and he also has a decent perception to sort of...
Yeah,
It also puts him in range of everybody for mental communication.
that's true. Yeah, in the middle. Cool.
Okay.
Okay. So
As you sort of...
readying an action as they...
As everybody's ready, the guards that were here previously have already begun sort of... They're trying to very quietly pry the boards off as quietly as you can. And as Harkin looks back and confirms once more, pushes on the heavy stone door that does... There's no quietness about the grinding of stone on stone. But the entrance yawns open like the mouth of something that's been long asleep, and almost like that stale, damp breath that exhales from the previously sealed space. Harkin nods and says, "Let's move forwards."
Okay.
Slowly.
Opening up in front of you, you can see the corridor stretches out into a wide and solemn avenue carved directly into the mountainside. Different to most of the other structures in Cadfesi that obviously were sort of morphed up out of, this almost has all the natural essences of what would be in stone, if that makes sense, as opposed to them just sort of morphing the top layer into things. The air's heavier and almost carrying a cloying mix of mildew, stale instance, and something sickening like rot that you've almost, honestly, at this point, sort of come to link with the corruption as almost that sickly, sweet, rotting smell that nearly everything that you've come across that's been corrupted has been under. And as it sort of moves forward into the darkness, because I know only a few of you have dark vision, however, you would see some of the guards starting to get torches out, and some of the researchers at the back starting to light spells and things.
And the sword's lit as well, isn't it?
You would see massive stone pillars lining the corridors at regular intervals. Again, that same for Eleni, intricately etched, but almost half erased and forgotten in the sort of roots and ancestry of Cadfesi itself. Long dead sconces hang rusted and cold from the walls. And as sort of the light starts to breach in as the first few guards move in and they almost make like a D-shaped perimeter at the front of the door. You can see the heavy wooden doors that lead either side, with each door marked with either paint or scratched or clawed. It's almost like it's somebody's scratched like number 1, number 2, like door numbers, but it's almost like definitely wasn't the purpose there, and it's that one's a bit wonky and it's definitely hand done.
Yeah. Okay.
That almost make up the makeshift homes of the forgotten of the city above.
Dante will just kind of under his breath just ask the guards, just be like, so was this place like this when you were in here last?
They will nod and they'll sort of take a look. You see that they move first over to the first room, and you can actually see as you sort of looking in, you're pretty sure, Dante, for yourself, where the corruption is starting and ending. As there are certain like back corner emanating forwards is like the red ichor that sort of moves along the walls. As you look left and right, the doors that are number 1 and number 2 have no traces of infection on it. Number 2 lies open, and within it you can see, like, if you imagine that in some cases the tombs were there but not used, they've been made into sort of makeshift beds with almost like a handcrafted communal space, bean bags and other such things that, for Eleni taking a look and a glance around, there's maybe sort of 6 or 7 people living in that room, now all just abandoned, there's stuff all over.
Can I ask though? So we've got doors 1 and 2. You said one of those is slightly open already.
So 2 is fully open, one
Right.
is closed.
Eleni's also scanning, and I mean she doesn't have dark vision, so as far as she can see, she's looking for movement. Like if you if you're looking in one place and you're trying to catch
Does anyone want to
peripheral.
give me movement? Give me a perception. Anybody else looking out for anything else specific? As the chamber begins to light up, you can see that the entire wide corridor is maybe about 100 feet.
I'm going to take the dodge action, and I'd like to do. Can I do perception as well? Or was that only one or the other?
Yeah, no, you can.
That was a 26.
That was a 4. You all got the dodge action.
Anything from each in?
I'm gonna be so like Eleni's checking up ahead, yeah?
I'm scanning the whole central area because obviously
Yeah.
I want to check there's nothing down there before we start moving into side rooms.
Ichi's gonna be scanning like the tunnel that we're in, making sure there's no cracks that anything's starting to leak through that could cause issue when trying to retreat later. I'm gonna keep an eye on like the perimeter around us.
Okay. And how are we moving? Are we moving stealthily? Are you moving with
Carefully.
if so, everybody. If this is it, if we're just moving carefully as opposed to stealthily, that's fine. Or if you want to stealth, give me stealth.
I'm going to the guys, whoever's opening the door, it's just going to go before going forward and pushing doors open. Let's just inspect around them before, or to make sure if there's nothing pressing against it, or it doesn't release spores or something. Because that was one of the issues down here was spores.
Yeah, that's true. There were plants, weren't there? Eleni would be, like I said, not creeping, but looking at where she puts her feet, just very carefully, sort of making sure she's on steady ground. And she would start maneuvering herself so that she's still got the bow and she's still got the arrow cocked, but she's now almost pointing and scanning into the room where the door is open.
So the open door, as I said, it looks to be an abandoned living space. You can see, Eleni, there's like lots of little things that they're using every bit of space. The sort of food hanging in rope baskets from the roof. They're upwards as well as downwards, but everything just sort of seems abandoned where it was. There's almost food plates that are now sort of going off and rotting and.
Sorry, just because I'm just wondering, could you put us on like kind of a blank page on Roll20?
Well,
because I want to just start drawing out a little kind of rough map.
Yeah, you can do that.
I was going to say as well, I think once I'm covering, I would maybe motion for a couple of the guards to go into that room. And I would probably very quietly say, if we clear this room, can we close the door? Can we bar it shut afterwards?
We can definitely close it, but I'm worried about barring it for the noise it would make.
True. I'm just thinking so we can actually not, you know, I mean, make sure that one's done, that one's shut.
One of the researchers would hand forward like a piece of white chalk.
How wide everything? Sorry, in the corridor, width-wise.
So I wouldn't worry about your width. I wouldn't do it legit. I would do it as basic, but you can do. So it's about so it's 40 foot wide, 100 foot long. It won't fit on this page otherwise if you do it like straight, legitimately.
Oh, well, I've got it already done it. Huh?
There's more.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so I would cover as guards go in and check that room out, and
You could do it as like a square per 10 feet, so it's smaller, and then it will fit. So it'd be like.
I'm going to be honest, I'm drawing this with a pen and paper, and I'm not going to do it to scale because I don't think.
No, it's more just saying.
And obviously, you can ask the cartographer at any point, like,
That's
where was
true.
this? Where is this? And they can direct you if you need.
He might already have some of this noted down. He's been in here, so these early rooms he's probably got, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He was already finishing a map.
Okay.
Has the DM got the said map?
No. None of the players asked it to. None of the players went up and spoke to him.
Yeah. No, Eleni's just going where she's pointed and pointing bows at things and arrows and yeah. Okay.
No, and drawing your own map is also completely fit. So the guards will clear room 2, and they sort of move in. They very slowly move through all the sort of stuff with Eleni and Anya, Anya, Eleni, and Dante sort of stood at the door waiting to clear anything.
Yeah.
After a moment, there's a soft all clear, and then they sort of start moving out again before moving over to room number 2.
Room 1.
Well, yeah, back to room number 1. The second room that they're clearing, but room number 1.
Yeah.
Again, and we won't we don't need to describe every time, but they almost keep fanning out into that same formation.
Yeah.
As they sort of push on the door creaks open reluctantly and releases almost that like hiss of stale, musty air. You can see blankets and toppled tables, empty bedrolls. It seems silent and deserted as the guards move in. You can see, however, as the guards sort of move in and begin to make the all clear, Eleni, you're catching signs in here that while nothing seems corrupted, like it's not on the walls and stuff like that, you think corrupted people were definitely in here. As right by the door, like down by the side, there's like scratchings, and when you sort of lean down, it's like they can hear us. That it's like paranoid verbiage scratched into the sort of lower bits of the wall, almost like someone was lay against the door.
Okay.
Like they'd almost barricaded themselves in, sort of thing, and lay against the door and were sort of. So the room seems clear, and the guards were sort of after about 5 minutes all clear. Yeah. But you definitely think somebody in here had been previously.
Okay. So once we're out, I'd say again, let's shut that door, mark it clear. Okay. And then start moving down towards, I'm assuming there's another 3 and 4 further down.
Yeah, what was everyone's spell?
26 perception.
That was perception. What's the stealth?
Sorry, I wasn't stealthing. I was just moving carefully.
Okay.
Mine was 17.
Mine was a unnatural 1. I rolled a 2 and a 3.
Clank, clank, clank.
That's what I have for my insight in the last game.
Did you say 17? Sorry, Dante.
Yes.
Chainmail be shun shun shun.
Well, then it's not. Volu got 15, which is decent. The guards aren't, therefore sort of probably following similar to Eleni. Anya is sort of moving a little stealthy. So as you move up, they almost wait for your direction about left door, right door.
What's the difference? Is there any difference between the doors? Are they marked? Are they damaged? Is there anything obvious about the doors?
Both doors seem shut, and these are the last doors that definitely on the outside don't have signs of sort of infection on the walls, and so like the
Okay.
next doors up have begun to sort of warp and corrupt actually on physically on the door.
Right.
Whereas these still seem fairly.
But it doesn't look like anybody's tried to bash it in, or there's no sort of
No.
signs of violence or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to put up, say, because I realise none of us have done anything, but just because we've got spores, I know we're all cured, but we don't know what the spores could also
By the
do.
way, I'm not cured. Or was I
Neither am
cured?
I.
You are, each isn't.
Okay.
And we don't know if I can be infected or not. You're assuming not, but we don't know. But I'm just going to be like, cover your mouths if needed. Like, put cloth or something around.
I will
I'm saying this
turn my coat collar up.
Yeah, saying this to everyone, military and all that around. As I did, like I said, I did say to them, that was me saying check the doors and things before opening them wide.
You're leaving it to them to do it?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, that's them.
That's okay. I'm just saying you normally don't like it just being all on my own.
I'm happy for them to open the doors. I'm ready holding action still to shoot anything that's in there that shouldn't be.
As the second door opens,
Sorry, Liam, is this 3 or 4?
Sorry, which one do you want?
Well, this is it. So if there's no choice, if there's no difference,
no
I'd
real
probably go
difference
for
between
door
them.
3, and if there's no difference between them.
So as you open this door, again, they sort of check it over, push it open slowly. Weirdly, for this door, there is that sort of suction of like the door was sealed, but it's almost wet. And as it sort of pushes open, there's almost like the damp scent of like swamp marshes. And as you sort of look in, the room itself is thickly overgrown with reddish purple vines, almost growing and pulsing faintly as they grip the walls and fall from the ceiling. And at the very center of the room, there's almost a bulbous, like plant bloom. However, unfortunately for Ichi, with your straight 1.
Woo!
With the way that you're positioned, if you imagine that at the door, sort of pushing it slowly open is the guards, then you've got Dante and the scouts, and then there's sort of you and the researchers sort of nearer the back, Ichi. You stumble on something on the table, and it knocks like a cup that just sort of rolls and smashes. As the door behind, so number 4 as opposed to number 3, there is a deep, and the door just bursts open as similar to the ones that you saw in the highly infected area of the temple, dwarven humanoid sort of steps out. There is a clattering of something else behind it falling over stuff, and sort of, you imagine it sounds like it's getting out from under something.
Can I shout at the guys who've opened door 3 and say, shut the door, and start to whirl around?
So I'm going to... So you can call out, shut the door, and I'm going to say
I'm just going to call out, shut the door.
It's almost instantaneous that as you're saying, shut the door and looking back, the bulb and sort of sprays. What I'm going to say is those in the forefront are going to get advantage because you said shut the door on time, and it's not going to spill past them because of the speed at which you shouted out.
Yeah.
However, as that all begins to unfold and you see the panic and people starting to murmur and shout and displace, that is where we are going to call the end of part 1. Thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you very much for listening and playing. If you're enjoying what's going on so far and you want to see what happens with the corrupted catacombs, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye.
This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll well.